Hello, ladies and germs. This is your host, Robin Graves, and this is WATG, or The World According to Graves. This is a little train wreck I like to do at least once a week. If you'll excuse me one moment, please. Mike, I don't have a movie for you, okay? But I do need some sippage, and ladies and gentlemen, yeah, come talk to me. Coke backed out. You're my only hope, buddy. Get a little sippage here. Let me open this. Didn't have it in a can, got it in a bottle, tastes so much better. Anyway, I got an idea, and from a YouTube post, and I decided to run with it. I'm going to talk today about everybody's favorite Minnesotan politician right now, Little Miss Ilhan Omar. Now the media, be up in arms if Trump or anyone else, even you, especially people like me, did anything, like this little Ilhan. Name a few things here. 2 husbands, and one was her brother. 2, the racist tweets. You can't name one other person in the world to get away with, her anti-white tweets. Even people from Hollywood wouldn't get away with the things this woman has said. Just getting tax refunds on both of her husbands. That's called tax fraud to you and me. We would be under a prison. Possible, definite immigration fraud. And the unpardonable sin of Islam, the unpardonable sin in Islam, adultery. She's guilty of bigamy, plain and simple, at the moment. Well, consider the fact she's also married to somebody else when she came over here, and there's no divorce records. None. I've looked. I've looked for these things. I have scrubbed the internet deep for things about this woman, and there are a lot of things she never said. She will not let. She won't answer questions. She refuses to. Good God! I mean, now there's a Washington D.C. wife right now that's filed for divorce back in April because her husband came home and said that he was having an affair with Ilhan Omar, and then he ditched his wife. According to the Washington Post, Dr. Beth Minette filed for divorce on her cheating husband, Tim Minette. He told her in April let me finish this. He was having an affair with Representative Ilhan Omar, which he was working with as a political consultant. A little strange, sleeping with somebody you work for. Then made a declaration of love for the Somalian-born Ilhan, who was legally married to another man. He then ditched his wife. Omar's 3 men. What does she have? The people she's with. Her husband and this guy, and her ex-husband and whoever else. And she's always talking on TV. When does she have time to do her job as a legislator? That's what I want to know. Between all of that and her racist tweets and her little somebody did something thing, this is kind of pissing me off. It's always opening after I tell it not to. When does she do her job? When does she have time to? It seems to me she's having a pretty high time on the American taxpayers' expense. Jesus. I mean, she claims she's a devout Muslim, and is very upset with chance of send her back during the Trump speech. She's very upset about that, and there's a reason she's very upset about that. It's not the fact they want to send her back to Somalia, it's the fact they do send her back to Somalia. It's a death sentence for adultery. Just recently, on a nice Thursday afternoon, about 2 weeks ago, in fact, 2 weeks ago today, this being Thursday, a woman was stoned to death in front of 200 people in Somalia for adultery. It's a stoning offense in Sharia law, and Somalia is an Islamic country. Uh, it seems to me she's having too much fun for her own good. That's why she was so upset about the "send her back" chant. This new guy, Tim Minette, if she does end up marrying him, it seems if they both go to Somalia for their little honeymoon, they're both at risk to be buried up to the neck in the sand and have people throwing rocks at them till they're dead. That's Islamic law. Because not only did she commit adultery with him, he committed adultery on his wife with her. And believe me, Muslims are very strict about things like that. Uh, Jeez. Let me get here. I'd like to know another thing, too, people. I mean, after everything that's been going on with this woman, why is she not being investigated by all the alphabet agencies? I mean, her. Let me get to something here. Holy crap! I got some things here, the notes that are going to blow you away. You know, she wants to sit here and trash America left and right. We're always ragging on us how we white men are the danger to the world. We're the ones killing everybody. When our own country, Somalia, is in the world's top 10 failed countries, and is second only to Yemen. Are you people familiar with Yemen? Google it sometime. It's very fascinating. She should be happy to live in America. I mean, where else can she whore around and break federal laws, among other things, since in Somalia she would have been, well, killed long ago. Now let's get a little deeper waters here. This is where I'm going to have to be looking at this a lot. And, yeah, whatever. Anyway, as far as Ilhan Omar she has a very sketchy past. Incredibly sketchy. Before she came to America, it's pretty much unknown. There's a lot of conjecture of what was going on, what she was doing, all of this. Even her real last name is up to conjecture right now. I mean, in her interviews, reporters have given her, softball questions about everything, and if one comes that she doesn't like, she usually answers, one of her stock answers is that's no one's business, or that's a racist question. It seems that she's more concerned about what's her business and racism. She's more concerned about that than she is doing her job. This is, I tend to wonder about this woman all the time. If she can be elected, why can't other riffraff be elected? Well, I'm sorry, they have been. The Democrat Party and several in the Republican Party. According to the Washington Examiner, Ilhan Omar filed joint tax returns in 2014 and 2015 with Ahmed Risi. She was, holy crap. She's, at the time, she wasn't even married to him, nor residing with him, but she was filing taxes with him. She originally married Risi in 2002, but divorced in 2008. That's public record. Okay. Then married Ahmed Nir Said Elmi in 2009, then separated in 2011, and finally divorced in 2017, while filing taxes on Risi, her first husband. She's doing joint tax returns on 2 men. Omar got back together with Risi in 2012, but they were not legally married and able to file taxes together until 2018. This is going to get really interesting. Due to the IRS, federal, and Minnesota state law, couples cannot file joint taxes while they are, unless they are married and living in the same residence. That's under state law. That's under Minnesota state law. Now let me explain something to you people out there who don't understand how the law works. And I learned this dealing with a major insurance corporation, getting information. The law is local supersedes state, state supersedes federal. That's why certain things are federal law but not state law. Look at look at marijuana right now. There's several states. In fact, Oklahoma just became one. I believe Georgia is in line at the moment to legalize marijuana. Um, yes, a state can do that, even though it is federally a crime. You cannot be arrested for it in a state where it's legal. It was right now in Cobb County where I live. The police will not arrest you if you have a misdemeanor amount of marijuana on you. It's not worth their time. They're not going to arrest you. And that's honestly okay because local supersedes state, which supersedes federal. Okay, that's how it works. But nowhere in Minnesota does local law say that you can file taxes on somebody you're not married to. That is a state and federal law. This woman is in violation of a lot of things. Why is she a politician? Why is she not being investigated by every alphabet agency in the country? Jesus. Now she's with Tim Minette. Is she going to file a joint tax return with him also? That's what I want to know. That's 3 men she's going to be filing, 3. 1, 2, 3 men she's going to be filing joint tax returns with. It's kind of funny she's making all kinds of money that way. Nobody questions her, but they want to open Trump's tax returns. They want to look at everybody else's tax returns, but not hers, when she's clearly breaking the law. Excuse me. A little sippage here. It's dry out there today. The hurricane that came that hit Georgia didn't hit this far west. It just sucked all of our moisture out of the air. Notice the hair. It's not sitting right today. Oh, Lord help me, Jesus. This woman's interesting. She's. This is what they got Al Capone on. Okay, I mean tax evasion. Holy crap. As why she was the Tim Minette also. That's something I want to know. Since in her own words, we should all be fearful of white men. Tim Minette's a white man. We're supposed to be afraid of white men. That's her own words. She's with Tim Minette. What's the deal? Is she a hypocrite also? Jeez. And that's where the immigration fraud. This gets a little hard to find anything on. Really, it does. But I did find some things. I had to write all this down. The immigration fraud was very recent. I don't have it fully locked in yet. So forgive me for reading all of it. Omar was the name of a family she used to immigrate here. The family allowed her to use their name to come here to America to immigrate here. The Omar family allowed her to use their name for immigration purposes. Ilhan has siblings in the UK with a different family name. I have not found that family name yet, but it is a public record. She has family in the UK now that immigrated there at the same time she immigrated here. Must be nice to be able to go immigrate to a country, be a total rotten skis bag, and become a politician. Well, hell, that's the American way. Look what we got in politics these days, anyway. She's the perfect politician. Wow. At this time, I have not been able to find her actual real name. I haven't found it yet. The minute I do, I will make a short video. I will let everybody know what I have found out. I'm going to be looking while I'm looking at other things for next week. As soon as I find out, I'll let you know. Some of you might have already found it. Some of you might already know it. I haven't found it yet. If you guys have found it and can prove to me, show me the links, everything, I'd be very grateful. I would be grateful. But I have found out that she did not use the name Omar till right before she immigrated to the U.S. That's kind of suspicious. That's her not using her real name, using somebody else's. That's using a false name. It's in violation of immigration law into any country. So far, I don't see how she made it here into America. I don't know how she's gotten away with all of this. I don't know how she's not being investigated. And anytime you ask her about any of this, she'll claim it's none of your business or that's a racist question. I've watched several interviews where they'll ask her a question on something And she'll say, well, that's nobody's business but mine, or that's racist. That's a racist question. And the reporter, okay, we'll just go to the next one then. It's really weird how she could do all of this, but the Democrat Party, Nancy Pelosi, and Chuck Schumer and all the others want to look at Trump's financials. Want to look at his finances. They want to look at his tax returns. Why don't they look into hers? Hers are more questionable than anybody else's I know, and I know a lot of people. Believe me, doing this, I've gotten to know attorneys, pathologists, cops, members of the GBI, reporters, former Facebook employees, prison guards. I've gotten to know a lot of people. Um, it it's laughable how this happens. It's laughable how Omar has gotten away with everything so far, and nobody wants to look at anything she's done. Now, a lot of people on the left right now are saying that, well, you just got a bad case of what about itis? Yeah, I do. Because I want to know why there's such a double standard for you people. I want to know why you think that your people can do everything but nobody else can. I'm just not, that's a cop-out that they're using right now, telling you that, trying to get you to not point fingers at them while they're pointing fingers at you. Ilhan Omar is the biggest finger I've seen so far. So, anyway, I wanted to cut that one a little short and get it all together. This has been a roller coaster ride. I apologize for that. I had a lot of information I want to get out here. I try to keep this between 20 and 30 minutes. I don't want to go over because, in my experience, if I'm over 30 minutes, a lot of you out there lose interest and move on to the next shiny thing you see. I know I would. But there's something here I want to do. I want to talk about a little bit about my opinion here. Yeah, we've had a lot of weird shootings in a very short amount of time. You saw my videos on that. There was a lot I found out and everything. Here, just in the past couple of days, Walmart has decided to quit selling ammunition, and nobody can open carry into their stores, and neither can you in a grocery store called Kroger. Now, there was an incident at the Kroger just down the road from me, just down the street, within a mile and a half of me, with somebody that I knew very well. She was sexually assaulted in the store. In the store. She had to go, and nobody was helping her. No employee was helping her while this was happening. In fact, when she had to go to customer service, to get them to dial 911, the perpetrator was still in the store 10 feet away from her. 10 feet. This is police records. Oh my. He stayed there till the police arrived. The minute the police walked in, he knew he was caught. Took off to the back of the store. They tackled him, got him down. First thing he said was, I didn't do nothing. Then the videotape of what happened, became available. As soon as the police, asked for it, it was available. First thing he said after the videotape was it me? Now tell me something, people. If Kroger is going to allow that kind of thing to happen, I think we all need to go. If we go there, we need to be armed. We need to protect ourselves. The shooting at Walmart. All of a sudden, they don't want to sell ammunition anymore. They're not. There are certain stores that quit selling firearms. Why was it that nobody who was working in the gun section, the outdoor section there by the gun case, took a gun and did anything to protect all these people that were shot by this guy? Why? I don't understand. I know I would have, but that's just me, though. I got this thing where I don't want to see people get shot for no reason. But Walmart, they've done all of this. Walmart, thank you. Thank you. You've done what I said you should have done a long time ago. You're quitting selling firearms. You're quitting selling ammunition. Good. I'm proud of you. Because now, mom and pop gun store owners won't be going out of business. So, you did right this time, Wally World. But you're going to screw yourself over. You just shot yourself in the foot. There are a lot of people right now that won't be going back to Walmart. They'll be going to your competitors. You know, the mom and pop places you're trying to put out of business. Now, there's out there telling me that something's got to be done, and we need to confiscate everybody's guns. We need to get rid of guns, make guns illegal. Okay, let me address that. Okay, because there's a lot of things out there I need to address about this, but this is the one that I find very fascinating. Fine, we outlaw guns. What's next? They outlawed guns in the UK. You can't own a firearm in the UK. Let me get a bit of sippage here because I'm about to get into a rant here. Or at least a mini one. I need to get a little sign put up. It says rant time. The UK doesn't have any firearms. People are still killing each other there in very ingenious ways, using hammers, knives, bricks. When I was living in the UK, there was a really cool thing they would do. They'd have 3 or 4 people beat one person down, put his face on the curb, and curb stomp him. They had a big thing about kicking people in the head once they're down. Don't tell me that's not going to happen here. Because we outlaw guns. And we've seen this. We've seen it with similar laws here in America. We outlaw guns. Fine. What's next? Baseball bats, hammers, knives, bits of broken glass, your hands, your feet. Then what? Harsh language? It's a slippery slope, people. Where does it end? Where will it end? You give a group of people an inch, they're going to take a mile. Gun confiscation, outlawing firearms, that's just the beginning. That is just the beginning, believe me. It will get much worse. Now, I'm not sitting here defending these people that are going out with, illegally getting guns and shooting people. I'm not doing that. I'm defending legal gun owners. Not many of these shooters have gotten their guns legally. Well, let me put it this way. The Gilroy shooter, there are records that he bought his gun in his firearms in Las Vegas. He, according to the media, he bought them legally and legally brought them to California. No, he didn't. He did not legally bring them to California. According to national law, which all gun stores are supposed to honor this, because they can be fined, they can be arrested, imprisoned for violating this law. You go buy a firearm 50 miles from your house. Are you going to carry it in your car? According to law, no, you can't. Anything like that, you have to actually send from the gun store to a person with a federal firearms license that lives close by and pay a handling fee for that. You are not supposed to travel with this firearm at great distances. I forgot the exact distance. I didn't have that listed. I did read it somewhere. But from Las Vegas to Gilroy, California, he carried it in his car, on his back. Doesn't matter if he transported it himself or a person without a license transported it. That is a federal crime, punishable by a lot of years in the slammer. So everyone will say, well, it's people with legal guns out killing everybody. No, they're not. Oh, no. Sandy Hook, that guy didn't own any guns. He stole them from his family members. The guy in Gilroy, his firearm, the minute he left Las Vegas with it, became illegal. It became illegal. This goes to show you that, fine, take away all the guns from everybody here, everybody in America, get rid of the guns, they become illegal, they're confiscated. All of us legal firearm owners are now open targets. Because the thing is, criminals don't obey the fucking law. That's why they're criminals. You think that you're going to put a stop to all the shootings? No. Get rid of gun-free zones. It's been proven over and over again. One good guy with a gun will end 2 bad guys with a gun. Trust me. That's been documented. But your media won't tell you that because it doesn't fit a narrative. They're afraid they're going to offend you and you're not going to watch them. So they're going to agree with everything you want them to agree with just to get viewers. Fortunately, I'm not like that. I don't care if you agree with me or not. You're going to watch me anyway. I will be in your head because I'm telling you things you need to think about, and you will think about them. So, look, people, we're at 25 minutes. I could keep this going on forever, but I'm going to end it with this. Instead of outlawing firearms, why are these people shooting each other? Why are these people going out and shooting up people? If we didn't have guns, they'd be out stabbing people. They'd be beating them with hammers, baseball bats, barbed wire whips. They will find a way. They will find a way. Do you know I can go online right now and find out how to make explosives with homemade cleaners? Stuff I find under my sink, which I don't need to go online for that. I know how to do that anyway. It's very easy. They will find out how to do that to kill people. The problem is not a gun. The problem is the person. It is the mindset they have. Where did they get this mindset? What was their environment growing up? Were they single parent children? Did anybody pay attention to them? Did anybody correct them when they did wrong as a child? Did they feel entitled? And most of all, I'd like to know, what psychotropic drugs were they on? What drugs were they prescribed? We need to take a look at that. You're talking about all these people being killed with guns. Fine. Let's go take a look at Wally World. Let's look at the junk food they're selling. They're pushing down your kids' throats. It kills 600,000 people a year, at least, with heart disease. Let's take a look at things that are being sold to our kids at stores right now. The little plastic toys that come from China. How many kids have gotten toxemia of some sort from these toys? How many cars have been responsible for the death of people? Yet Walmart still sells alcohol, and you still own a car. Let's talk about the biggest thing that's the worst thing for all of us. An internet connection, because it causes people to sit here like I am, on a computer, and become sedentary, causing heart problems, spinal problems, cholesterol problems, monster weight gain, high blood pressure from all of this. But you're worried about a gun. There are more things in the world to worry about than just a gun. Quit blaming the tool. Blame the person. Blame the cause of this. The cause isn't the gun. The cause isn't Glock there in Atlanta or Smyrna. It's not Smith & Wesson. It's not Remington. It's not Zig. It's the person using it. Because what are you going to do when you outlaw guns? You're going to outlaw hammers too because somebody goes and starts beating people to death with hammers? You're going to outlaw knives because they stab people? How about cars? People will start running over each other with cars. Are you going to blame cars? No. You're following a narrative that's been promoted by the government itself. Watch my video on how the news operates. Who where they get their stories. Who pays them to do these stories. It's not them. It's not their reporters. It's the government. And right now we have members of the government that want to put a stop to our freedoms. And the first thing to do, get rid of guns, because they know that if they take a step forward, we will shoot back. Look, guys, I'm going to have to let you go. I've ranted enough. I love every one of you out there that watch this. Hit subscribe and like. Leave a comment, please. Let me know you're out there and stuff. I got some things I got to get done here, so I got to go. This has been, I'm Robin Graves. This has been The World According to Graves. And I want all of you to think about something. Talk hard. Later, man.